Assalamualaikum and good morning, Medahuda. I hope you are doing well. Today, I would like to find out about the pros and cons of the online digital learning. The table of content is introduction, advantage, disadvantage, and conclusion. For the introduction, beginning in early 2020, the coronavirus invaded the entire world, forcing all human beings on this planet to confine themselves to their homes. As a result, every human being is required to do something work related using a smartphone. Since the implementation of COVID-19 across the country, all students have been required to begin remote learning online session. Then there's online learning, which is a digital style of education in which a teacher and student can communicate via digital device such as laptop, cell phone, and tablet. Distance learning, on the other hand, has advantage and disadvantage for all students. In this recent device, this technique of learning has become an increasingly essential aspect of education. Because of the never-ending growth of technology, we now have more options to achieve education aims and objectives. For the first one is in online distance learning, there are advantages in this way of learning. So to jump right in about the pros and the things students like about this online learning situation in right now, while online distance learning is underway, students can save time to commute. For example, being able to exercise at home. This is because online distance learning will feel asleep sleepy, and to prevent students from falling asleep during online distance learning, students can do exercise or other activities. So to start things off, the pros during online distance learning is not easy. However, in technical element, the pros of online distance learning is the technical elements such as being able to study at the distance. For example, students can to start their learning at home. Can also facilitate business between student and lecturer. In addition, it can save time. For example, students do not need to go to campus to start their studies on campus. Then can study anywhere, such as students can study anywhere that can be accessed with an internet line. Also, the online method of the study has several advantages. It is very convenient. Students and teachers can interact from the convenience of respective homes. Sometimes online study is indeed a separate alternative to school education. After that, one of the great things that I like about everything being flexible is that can be more flexible in workspace. In terms of flexibility, it's really cool that students be able to do the lecture wherever they want. So sometimes them to do a lecture on a table in a coffee shop or somewhere else outside just get a some more say now that student a bit busy all the time with studies. Moreover, since some of type of way, the lecture are pre-recorded, so it definitely helps with being more flexible with the time. This is because it makes it easier for students to work and lecture to do something other than study in front of a laptop. So it really helps students with a flexible time, which also allows students to spend a lot more time with family. It's great. Also, during online distance learning, students can also eat snack or get rid of boredom in front of a laptop. Moreover, in flexibility, the pros of this distance learning online is the flexibility of being able to save time, such as being able to do the work in one time. Lecturer can also manage time with family even when busy by carrying out tasks to teach students online. At the same time, convenience in online of study is convenience method for a student, and student can activity participate in the knowledge level session without even stepping out of house. Also, students need to be self-disciplined and responsible for student learning, and schools regarded as co-curriculum activities. Next, in social interaction, the pros in social interaction is to interact with the faculty. Although studying online, students can also interact with others. For example, online learning also often offers many opportunities for students to interact with people, such as working with a mentor via emails or with a lecturer. Many universities or schools offer similar social options online for students to interact and connect. Then for cons one is in online distance learning, in addition to the pros, there are also cons in online distance learning. There are more cons in online distance learning, such as like one of the cons difficulty in getting good internet access. Not all students can access the internet well. This causes difficulty for students to continue to focus on learning during online distance learning. Then among students, not all students are the morning person types who need to get up early in the morning, 1 hour early before going to university. Next, all students definitely going to try that because it's very difficult. For an example, every single day, sometimes of students try to go for a morning walk and grab a coffee. It's kind of help them start the day without feeling overwhelmed into being on the screen for like 8 hours. Besides, in this technical element, the cons in the distance learning is the difficulty of learning. For example, the difficulty of getting good internet access. This also distracts students from learning to use current technology. Apart from numerous advantages, the online method of the study also presents certain disadvantages, such as its let the field win into some kind of environment, then overexposure to gadgets present health hazard like hair with eye sign and lack of concentration. Moreover, the disadvantage in flexibility is that students will be difficult if not self-motivated. For example, online learning can be difficult for students who are not self-motivated. Next, undisciplined. For example, students need self-discipline to spend time in education. Students need to be smart in managing time between study and other activities. Next, in social interaction, the cons in distance learning online is that students interact less because students often use the phone or computer only. For example, student constantly studying online can also cause a student to turn into an introvert when meeting in public. And distance learning also leaves students completely alone. However, some of students always procrastinated in their something work. For example, learning in ways with online distance learning has made students always feel lazy in doing something. This causes making a burden for students because for one job will increase more. However, with all the burden that students have to carry will causes students to become higher stress. A higher stress can causes negative vibes surrounding students. The conclusion, distance learning has become an essential component of education. Distance learning, like traditional learning, necessitates careful planning in order for the educational process to be beneficial to the student. As with any method of learning, it has advantage and disadvantage over traditional learning environment. But when these disadvantages are cognizant, they can be overcome in any age of constant technological advancement and rapid change. It can sometimes provide students with an educational experience through technology. Students can do the same, resulting in the lack of communication with others. Next, online distance learning is one of the methods for students to learn in order to improve their understanding. At the same time, this can causes students' stress level to rise during online learning. These are various challenges and obstacles in undergoing this online distance learning style. But all students remain steadfast in every second and continue as usual, despite the fact that there are benefits and drawbacks to online distance learning. All students must continue to learn. Thank you. That's all from me.